We were referred to Edward's Trust by a friend. Our son Oliver died. He took his own life at the beginning of his second year at university. The initial experience was just one of just huge shock. It came without any real warning. It felt like somebody had just got your heart and was squeezing. I thought, I understand what it means for your heart to break now. I didn't know there could be so many tears. I've just cried for weeks on end, really. I think initially it's like a trauma. It felt almost like we'd had a physical trauma. I think when somebody takes their own life, you feel like you're the only person that's happened to. I've since found out that there's people I know that it's happened to in their family, but it's not something that people talk about. And we've just been very, very grateful to family and friends who've run towards us rather than run away, because those people have had to hear some really difficult stuff. I think with suicide there's just so many questions, and I think as a parent you try to look after your child and put things right for them, and I think at the beginning it was almost like my brain was trying to fix this as well, and it couldn't. I'd never had any counselling before. I knew that I needed some help. I just couldn't understand how it was going to help. But I think what I didn't realise was that this person that I was going to be speaking to was an absolute expert in grief and bereavement. And yeah, her advice was brilliant. I think the first time I went, I thought if she says one thing that's useful in this session, I'll go back, and she did. Hearing somebody say what you're experiencing is normal in grief is really helpful. And the other help we've had from Edward's Trust, my husband was having counselling as well. We coped with grief in quite different ways. I was somebody I needed to talk, and he just wanted to sit quietly, so actually that was quite difficult. So we did have some counselling together. It helped us to understand much better how each other were coping and how to support each other. I struggled when we used to go on the motorway, because we were on the motorway when we had the call from the police to say that Oliver had died. So every time I went in a car on a motorway, I ended up in just floods of tears. My counsellor said something actually quite simple. She just said, you just need to focus and remind yourself that this isn't that journey. That really helped. I've had some sessions with the Wellbeing therapist, and that's been brilliant. So the first time we met, we talked through sort of what would be helpful. We've been doing yoga. My daughter's joined in some of those. We've done some fundraising for Edward's Trust that have involved family and friends, and that sort of feels like a really nice way to remember Oliver, but also to give something back, because they've just been really brilliant, and we're really grateful. I really don't know what state we would be in without Edward's Trust. I think I'd have been stuck in a really dark place. I think now, I think about Oliver all the time. I have good days, bad days, but I find the lows are not quite as long. I'm not so worried about expressing grief, and a bit kinder to myself probably. We're not the people we were. I think we both got hope for the future, hope that, that life is going to be worth living. Yeah, I would really encourage somebody who'd been bereaved to take that first step, really. Edward's Trust feels like a family.